we did the game, AB game, we voted ally, and somehow, some way, Alice was there and betrayed us. Somehow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that was real weird.
So now we have to go and we have to betray this, whatever this is. So ready?
Yep.
Also, Luna's gonna be super sad because she's our partner.
Yeah, but like, is there not gonna be?
Luna and I stepped out of the AB room. Not gonna be what?
I was gonna say, is there not gonna be like a phantasm that's gonna betray us in this one too? And then everybody's gonna be like, "What the heck?"
We'll see, but either way, Luna's just sad when anybody votes betray. Just
Yeah.
by the pure thought that somebody would betray another person.
Why do people? Why? What happened to it's not fair to betray someone who isn't voting? I thought...
There's nothing I could think of to say. You and I didn't really understand why I'd pick betray instead.
Ugh.
It almost felt unconscious, like some other part of my mind was making the decision. Perhaps I'd been possessed by some sort of evil spirit that had moved my finger to the betray button against my will. We're right. Well, we should go see the results.
Really? We already know what they are. It's just simple math.
The look in her eyes was more painful than any punch I'd ever taken. I turned away and almost ran toward the projector. Anything to get away from those eyes. Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen. Betray, betray. Betray, betray. Betray. Betray!
Good. I love that everybody betrayed. Did everybody ally each other in the other one?
No. Only one that allied was us in the other one. They all betrayed.
Oh.
But we just didn't have a time to really focus on it because we immediately were dying.
Yeah.
Oops. Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
They should have just said points have been adjusted accordingly.
Why?
No, because even then it would make sense. Because in this situation, no points were added or subtracted.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah. I think it's just a pre-recorded message, though. Like... I think the point is all the voices we hear here are pre-recorded messages because they're not Zero Junior.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like Zero Junior should have thought about that and made like blanket statements that apply to every kind of situation and permutation.
I don't know if Zero Junior had made those recordings. It might have been Zero Senior.
Zero, whoever recorded them, like points have been added accordingly if nobody subtracts any points.
Doesn't really matter that much.
I mean, for me, it does. It's a matter of accessibility.
I just imagine you like they're actually in this AB game. This just happened. Everybody just betrayed each other, and you're just like arguing this point while they're like.
Yeah, everybody's like pissed at each other for betraying each other. I got betrayed even though like the person who was voting against me was literally not conscious, and I'm like, but it just doesn't make like vernacular sense. Why would they say it like that? Everybody's like, excuse me? Yeah, sure. We all betrayed each other. Let's move on. But, I'm going to write a complaint when we get out of here.
What? It was impossible. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked again. No. How can Alice's vote be betray? That's not possible.
Spooky.
Alice! She was standing inside the second room from the left. The room that should have been empty. Why? My mind was still reeling. Where had she come from? As I was trying to form a sentence, she began to move toward us. From around me, I heard a chorus of muted gasps. It seemed we were united in our surprise and confusion. Alice drew to a stop in front of me and glanced up at the display.
You thought you'd get an easy couple of points, huh? Not so easy when you have to look your victim in the eye, is it? Coward.
Me a coward? You've got some balls saying that to me after you picked Betray. Why are you even here?
You gave me the antivirus, didn't you? Tenmyoji told me. Thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, honestly. But you should still be under the effects of the anesthetic. Yes, well, I still am, a bit. I have a throbbing headache and I could barely stand. It's horrible. I'm more resistant to anesthetic than most people. That was out of my training. She's back to the noir. I was out of my training. It's just I can't help it. It starts to squeeze out. I have a feeling Zero Senior knew that.
Please don't use the term squeeze out.
Why? They gave me way more than the standard dose of that gas when they kidnapped me. In any event, a few minutes ago I woke up in the infirmary. Tenmyoji explained what was going on and I got here as fast as I could.
So you showed up right after we'd gone into the AB room?
Yes. Right in the nick of time, too. About 10 seconds before the deadline, as I recall. You did that just so you could betray us?
Why are you laughing?
It's just like Luna's statement. That's so funny. You fought the anesthetic and ran over here 10 seconds before the deadline just to betray us. Like, that's ruthless. Right. What? Don't I get to do that? I mean, it turned out to be the right thing to do, didn't it? I want to be in the very best, like no one ever was, but I also want to be present in that alternate timeline where she literally murders me to see what she says. She's probably just be like, oops, I didn't think that they would ally. Huh. That's so sad. Like, I'm really, like, Alice's path is really making me dislike Alice as a person.
It was a defensive play still, but...
Well, yeah, but, like, she knew I was at -1.
Well, at +1, but...
Yeah, she knew I was at 1. Like, and she could have assumed that with Luna we were going to ally. And is she even at 1? How many points does she have? 6?
She's at 6, yeah, because she betrayed us once.
Yeah. So, she boo-boo for her. She could have lost a couple points. Be like, listen, it's in thanks for literally saving my life. Like, you'll get an extra 2 points and I'll lose 1. Whatever, you know? But no. She's so rude. Alice is canceled. You two chose Betray. If I'd stayed back in there, I'd have lost 2 points. So you were saying it was self-defense? Yes.
You're full of shit. Self-defense my ass. You chose Betray because you wanted out. You had 6 BP. If I'd picked Ally, you would have had 9. That's what you were trying to do, right?
So what if I was?
Are you serious? You would have killed me.
You did.
Look, I only have 1 BP. You were this close to murdering me. Just admit it. You were planning to kill me so you could escape.
Don't be stupid. I knew you'd choose betray. There was...
Tell the truth.
That is the truth. Why am I the only one getting the 3rd degree here? Look at those results. 2 other people just tried to kill someone.
Fi and Dio.
Yes. If Dio chose an ally, Fi would have killed Temioji.
I wouldn't say Fi tried to kill anybody, like... There was
I knew that Dio was gonna betray.
Yeah, and she would have died otherwise, like...
Yeah. If she had chosen ally, Dio would have killed her. I don't want to be rude, but it looks like Clover and Kay tried to trick one another. Not that it seems to have worked. If either of them had chosen ally, the other would have had 9 BP right now.
I turned to look at the results again. Before, I'd only been looking at my own. Before the game, I'm not sure if you remember, before this AB game, Clover and Kay did make promises to each other to both ally.
Yeah, listen, Clover's wily. Like, I don't blame Clover.
Well, Kay.
Kay's on thin ice.
I hadn't realized that there was only one word all across the roster. Betray. Whatever trust we managed to build had fallen apart. Everyone was suspicious of everyone else. Had it been the bombs? Or had it been something else? Whatever the reason, if it kept up, we'd never manage to escape. We'd be trapped in a cycle of 0-point rounds for the rest of our lives. Something had to be done. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Alright guys, pay attention. You probably already all figured this out, but we can't keep going like this. If we don't start being a little more trusting, we're never going to get out of here. We need to work together. I might as well have been talking to a wall. My apologies, Sigma, but I need to think on something for a bit. I would appreciate being left alone. Okay. I'll be leaving too. Things are getting a little too intense here for my delicate constitution. Sorry. Dio.
Well, in that case...
Et tu, Fi?
Et tu. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, she speaks Latin.
Et tu.
Without another word, she turned and left the warehouse. Dio and Kay quickly followed suit.
See? There's your answer. In the end, everyone's just thinking about themselves. So I would appreciate it if you would not treat me like the only villain here. Come on, Clover, let's go. Hold on, I'm coming. Gross.
You made it gross.
Okay. Yeah. I was really worried, you know.
I watched them walk away, Clover practically jumping with delight to have Alice back. Before long, they reached the yellow door and disappeared beyond it. When you walk away... Sorry.
After you've betrayed me. Oh, baby. Don't go. Everyone's gone.
You aren't going to leave too?
No.
Are you sure? I chose betray.
I know. But I still believe in you, Sigma. I think your hand must have slipped or just slipped or something. Right?
My chest hurt, and when I blinked, I felt something hot and wet prick the corners of my eyes. Luna, I bit my lip. Before I could think of anything to say, the metallic rumble of the doors closing echoed through the warehouse.
Listen, it's always stuck in my head now. It lives rent-free.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the Star Round. Star keys are required to open the gates. There is no set limit on usage of the star keys. The Ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the players wish to open them. As many times we want, huh?
Yes, as long as we have the star keys. That means we could keep playing the AB game over and over, too. Sigma, could you show me your bracelet?
Why?
Do you remember what Zero Jr. said? As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically. The pair and solo assignments hop around a bit too.
Yeah, I remember. Let's see here. I'm a cyan pair. What about you?
I'm a magenta pair.
I wonder what the others are.
They could be anything, I suppose. We won't know until we have a look.
We got about 80 minutes until the next set of chromatic doors open.
Who talks like that?
What?
Just say an hour and a half like a normal person, Sigma.
It's less than an hour and a half.
Yeah, but like practically.
And that takes more syllables.
If you were to tell me that you want to meet me in 80 minutes, I'll be like, I don't know how long that is. Like I'd have you're making me do math.
I'd like to meet you in 162 minutes.
Gross. I don't know what that's over 2 hours, right? Like I know that.
I'd like you to meet you in 862 meters.
Wait, what?
What?
Listen, we're dumb Americans.
Listen,
We use
I don't.
system.
Yeah, I don't know what metric system for time is. So.
Do you mean military time?
That's not metric.
That's the alternative timekeeping method that the world uses.
Listen, you don't know what all the world uses. So what should we do now?
Some parts of the world use life as a metric of time.
Oof.
Everyone else has gone on their own.
Yeah. Physically, emotionally. Fine. I'll meet me in 3 Nats lives.
3 Nats lives? That's like... Oh, now I need to know. Like, how long does a gnat live?
I really don't like how this is going. Won't matter how many times we repeat the AB game if nobody trusts anybody. We'll never be able to get out of here.
About 1 to 2 weeks. They complete a life cycle in about 18 to 30 days.
Jeez.
So you want to meet me in 2 months? Either 2 months or a month and 4 days.
Fine.
Anywhere
Four
between a month and 2.
amoeba lives.
Oh, I don't. That's too much. I'm done.
3 amoeba lives and 1 ant life.
Listen, we're never seeing each other again.
Maybe it would help if we all had a common goal. Something to unite our hearts and minds.
Yeah, but we've already got something like that. We all want to get out of here. That seems like a pretty clear goal to me, but everybody chose betray. Including me.
Well, what if we had an enemy?
An enemy?
I'm an enemy.
Yes. A common foe. Like the person who was at the bombs, for instance.
After coming back from the lab, I told her about the bomb while she gave Alice and Quark the Excelsior. Yeah, that might work. If we can figure out which one of us planted those bombs, everyone else would work together against them.
Right.
But how do we figure out who it is?
Well, do you have any clues?
Clues, huh? That's right! The memory card! I pulled it out of my
Is this
pocket and held it out toward her. What?
I was gonna say, is this one of these the locks that you needed to like get to another?
No, we saw the memory card when we found the bomb in the lab with the Excelsior.
Mm.
What's this?
I told you, a memory card. What?
It was some bomb we found in the lab.
No, that's me!
Oh,
It was under the bomb we found in the lab.
she just knew. She's like, oh yeah, I remember now. The memory card.
She wasn't there! I think whoever set the bomb dropped it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what's on it though. We couldn't find any kind of memory card reader.
Oh.
In this entire facility, there's not a single memory card reader.
I mean, we found a memory card reader in another timeline.
I guess I can't really use it then. Oh. Wait a second. You know what? I think I might have seen something.
Huh?
Yes, I remember. The infirmary. I saw it when I was searching the infirmary with Dio and Quark. There was a memory card just like that one.
Then,
Yes. I think we can see what's on it. The computer there should be able to read it.
hope we didn't have to travel at least. Luna and I exploded into the infirmary. Nearly running into Alice, Clover, and Tenmyoji. Quark was there as well, of course, but he was just as we left him, asleep on the bed.
What are you doing here?
I opened my mouth to retort, then thought better of it. If I really wanted people to start trusting each other, well, real change starts at home. As quickly as...
You heard that, folks. Sigma
quick-
said real change starts at home.
As quickly as I could, I explained the second bomb in the memory card, how we'd come to the infirmary and hoped to discover the contents of the latter.
Oh, okay. Then stick it in already.
That's what she said.
Gross. She's coming. Stick it in already.
Go ahead. Right.
Tenmyoji, no!
Listen, it's something for his grandpa videos.
Stick it in already. I'm ready.
Just as Luna had said, there was a small slot under the screen, exactly the right size to fit a memory card.
I bet.
Within moments, the screen was filled with what appeared to be random letters. What is this? Oh, you don't want to read it? Okay. 6 rows, 22 letters each.
It looks like the odd rows use one set of letters and the even rows use another. In other words, the first 2 rows just repeat. Yeah.
Is this some kind of code or something? It doesn't look random to me. I think there might be a pattern, I just don't know what it is.
There's a pattern. There's a pattern.
What? Was there anything else on there? No, it doesn't look like it.
So all we get is this gibberish. Hey Alice, you haven't said anything for a while. What's up?
Does any of this look familiar to you, Clover?
Why'd Clover
Oh,
say that?
sorry.
Does any of this look familiar to you, Clover? What do you mean? Sorry. What do you mean? Have you seen something like this before? Maybe during your training?
Training?
Ah! This is... So you do recognize it?
Alright, knock it off, you two. How about you share it with the rest of the class?
Do you want me to,
Oh,
to read that?
Alice sighed and stretched her neck from side to side. I saw Alice and my mind was like, oh, that's not me. There, different Alice.
I believe this is an encoded message from a terrorist organization. What? They call themselves the Myrmidons.
Myrmidons. For some reason, I felt like I'd heard that name before. Oh, right, it was from my Fire Emblem game. It was what I classed Marianne into.
Is Myrmidon even a class of Fire Emblem Three Houses?
Yeah, it's the novice class for swords.
So it's like Fubukaka.
I mean, early game, anybody who wants swords goes to that path. It's not the beginner class, so it's the next one.
What are the Myrmidons? Put simply, they're a bunch of thugs who are trying to destroy or dismantle most of human civilization.
So this thing we're looking at, you think it's theirs?
Well, they have a number of different codes, but I think this is one of them. Then the bomb... It was set by one of the Myrmidons, wasn't it? Yes. Well, I can't say for sure, of course, but it seems likely.
Damn, have I got a ton of questions for you. But let me start with this one. What the heck does that thing say?
I don't know.
What?
How am I supposed to decode it? I don't have the key. Without the key, it would literally take hundreds of years to decode.
What about you, Clover?
Well, if Alice doesn't know how, I sure don't.
I see. Not much we can do then. We can come back to that code stuff later. I've got another question. Alice, Clover, who the hell are you? Why do you know about this code?
Didn't we already get the Clover ending?
Yeah.
That's...
You told me your job was to eliminate enemies of the state or something like that. Just what the hell kind of a job is that? Think it's time you told us what you do.
Sorry, but I can't.
Why not?
Because you might be one of them. You might be the person who set the bomb.
Then why would I be giving you guys this memory card? That's idiotic.
Pointy chest.
I mean,
Pointy chest, yeah, JB.
At that point, like, they're already stuck. There's no benefit to, like, winning their trust with that. They're already stuck here.
Listen.
It's idiotic.
Pointy chest.
Of course I'm not.
Really? And where's your proof? For all you know, you're my enemy. I can't tell you anything.
For all I know.
For all I know.
I'm not your enemy. I'm your ally. I'm your friend. I just want all of us to get out of here. Just please tell us. Please. We need to find out who did this so we can all escape. We have too little information. We need your help. Fine. If you won't tell us about yourself, then just tell us about the Myrmidons. What else do you know about them?
I'm sorry.
Before I could blink, she leapt up and ran out of the room. Oh, leapt up and run out of the room. Okay. She'd leapt up and run out of the room. Okay, yeah, that's correct.
She'd leapt up and run out of the room.
Kind of. Is that correct? I don't mean English.
She'd leapt and ran. They're both past tense. Leapt and run is past and then present.
She had leapt up and had run out of the room.
Before I could blink, she had leapt up and she had run out of the room. Yeah, that's grammatically correct. You're right.
It's just a clunky way of talking.
Is it the subjunctive? Is that what it is?
Don't make me try to go back to that. I don't know.
Listen, you should know. You should know.
This is like middle school Spanish all over again.
I could tell you about the Spanish subjunctive.
Please don't. If I didn't get it the first 5 times, I don't know if I'll get it now.
Listen, the Spanish subjunctive is the most Kingdom Hearts you'll get with like vocabulary.
Oh, I thought English was pretty Kingdom Hearts.
Well, because it's all about like non-existent actions. So things that you're talking about things as if they were happening, even though the things couldn't happen. Like that's why you use the subjunctive. It's like you're not it's not happening, but if it were happening.
I'm just making sure we're
that's
not.
not Kingdom Hearts. Oh, what's going on? You don't know if we're
I was worried that we were dropping frames, but we didn't. It's just the stream chat confused me because it just said welcome to chat room, like I disconnected, but we didn't drop any frames, so I guess my stream chat somehow disconnected without the stream disconnecting. Anyways.
Yeah, it's your line.
Well, I didn't know if you had more you wanted to say about Spanish Kingdom Hearts.
No,
okay.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Hey, wait, Alice.
I wonder if Kingdom Hearts has a Spanish name for it.
Took off after her.
It as Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. So.
Reino de corazones.
Oh no! Wait, it's La Kingdom Hearts. So.
It's actually funny because it's masculine.
I know, that was the joke.
La Kingdom Hearts.
I took off after. I know La and L. I know that much basic.
How long are you gonna keep following me?
Until you tell me what you know.
Then why don't you just ask Clover?
Clover?
You already know she works with me.
Oh, yeah.
Then why don't you?
I wanted to hear it from you.
Why?
That's a good question. Remember the crew quarters for this garden? We got paired up for 2 separate rounds. That means I spent more time with you than anybody else here. Maybe that's it. Guess I'm just curious about you.
What are you talking about?
She spun around to hide it, but I caught a blush of red on her cheeks.
Oh.
We walked down the path to where it ended, next to the pond. Alice Day ending, I guess.
Becomes a dating sim.
I stayed silent. Alice sat down on the bench. We gazed at the smooth surface of the pond for several long minutes before she began to speak.
Several. Oh, Alice ending. You don't hate me.
What? Why?
I tried to kill you.
You mean in the AB game?
Yes. I was so scared. Who wouldn't be kidnapped and locked up? For us to play some sort of bizarre game. And then we found that bomb. I know it probably sounded calm, but as soon as we found that thing, all I wanted to do was run away as fast as I could. Things just went downhill from there.
What do you mean?
Remember hearing the quartet collapse, running to the infirmary? I remember hearing the quartet collapse and running to the infirmary with everyone else. When I got there, I realized I couldn't understand what anyone was saying. And everything looked, I don't know how to describe it. It was like watching a video on fast forward. Only it was real. Then I started to feel like, it's hard to explain. I guess you could say I didn't feel like I was myself, and it only got worse.
It was probably the Radical Six.
There's a TV show called Portlandia, and it's like a sketch show. It doesn't matter, but in one of the scenes, one of the characters is like, "I'm so hot," and then a character says, "It's the heat."
Nice.
So that's why I was laughing. It's like I didn't feel like it was myself. It was a Radical Six. It's like, yeah, we get it. It was a Radical Six. Yes, I think so.
It's weird hearing you tell a story to like the music in the end that gives me chills. So I'm just like, this is surreal.
So hot. It's the heat. I don't remember much after that. When I woke up in the infirmary, suddenly all that fear was back. Guess who's back? So hi. Back again. Fear is back. Tell a friend. All I could think about was getting out of this place as fast as I could.
Not a flattering angle.
It's not a very flattering render of this 3D model, I'll tell you what. It never even crossed my mind that it could kill you. God help me. Even if it had, I don't think I would have cared. See? I'm horrible. Yeah, you kind of are, Alice. Like, I don't care that you feel bad about it. Like, you did try to kill me. Not a once, but a twice. You hate me, don't you?
I mean, once.
Just do it.
What? Do what?
Kill me. Get it over with.
What the hell, Alice? I'm not going to kill you. I don't even hate you.
You're lying. I could have killed you. I would have killed you.
Come on, calm down. No one's killing anyone. A single tear rolled down Alice's cheek. Then another, and another, leaving shining lines across her face.
So it wasn't a single tear, Sigma.
When I reached out, I saw her tense just slightly. Slowly, I brushed my thumb across her cheek and off, taking her tears with it.
Oh, smooth Casanova. Why are you doing this? You know, you kind of remind me of my father.
That's who you're after, right? The people who killed your dad.
That's exactly what you want to hear when you're flirting with a girl. You remind me of my dad. Oof.
And maybe she's into that.
I don't know if I want to be into that.
You don't have to be.
Well, I don't know. I feel like if your significant other's into something, you probably want to be into it too, right?
If your significant other's into her dad, you also have to be into her dad?
I mean, it's the bi way. Sigma's a bicon. Let him live.
Do they have anything to do with the Myrmidons?
Will you promise not to tell Clover that I cried?
Huh, come on.
If you keep your mouth shut, I'll tell you what you want to know. About myself, and about the Myrmidons. Deal?
Sure. My lips are sealed.
Our lips are sealed. Really?
What crying? I don't remember any crying.
Good. All right. Then
Alice took a deep breath and began.
there was a 1974.
Alice backstory.
My father is Egyptian, but my mother is French.
But your accent is British.
Oh, I should fix it.
A French Egyptian.
My father is Egyptian, and my mother is French.
That just sounds French.
My mother was in Egypt.
You need a little more Egyptian too.
It depends. Egyptian people speak with a British accent. So what do you want from me? Like I can't combine French and English accents. I'm not that illustrious.
Then why do you have awards in your French Egyptian accents?
Nobody was supposed to know about my degree in French Egyptian. Oh.
French Egyptian.
Do you want me to change your accent to French?
No, do whatever you want. It's a little late probably to change your accent anyways.
We'll start the game over.
There's more text. I pressed the button.
I know. They met while my mother was in Egypt on vacation and married shortly after. When I was 3, we all moved to the U.S. So she shouldn't even have an accent to begin with.
French Egyptian American accent.
With a little sprig of American in there.
You know, just put all the accents. Just combine all the accents.
It's like an eldritch horror.
I wonder what that sounds like. Somebody with every accent at once.
My father was a scientist, and his field was cloning. So my noir, my transatlantic was probably the closest to actually what she would have sounded then, because she's like from all over the place.
Oh. Go on.
Sorry. He was recruited by an American lab, which is why we moved. Both of my parents had used English around me from the time I was born, so I didn't have any problems adapting to life in the United States. At my 9th birthday, we had been there for 6 years. That's when it happened. In the middle of the day, my mother showed up at school. Oh. Is that her mom?
I guess. And some woman on the left too.
Yeah. Her eyes were red and puffy, but she didn't say anything to me on the drive home. When we arrived, there were several policemen there to meet us. My father had been a very punctual man, and when dinner time came and went with no sign of him, even I began to realize something terrible had happened. It wasn't until several years later that I finally learned the truth. My father's lab had been attacked by terrorists, and he had been kidnapped. For the rest of my childhood, my mother raised me by herself. I didn't realize it then, but it must have been incredibly difficult for her as a single mother, let alone in a country where any relatives were a transatlantic flight away. She should have just moved back to France.
Wait, was she French? I thought she was
Egyptian.
Yeah. Okay.
No, the dad was Egyptian, she was French.
Okay.
Keep up!
Come on!
She did her best not to let me see it, but every so often when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away, and every line on her face I could see was exactly. She did her best not to let me see it, but every so often, when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away, and in every line of her face, I could see exhaustion and loneliness. As much as I missed my father, it was in those moments that made me wish more than anything that he'd never been taken. Fortunately, I was an excellent student, and I did especially well at math. I earned a full ride scholarship straight out of high school and spent the next several years studying.
She is good at math. Remember, we did the pantry with her, and she immediately told us how many drawers there were through some quick calculation.
Oh, God. If you're good at math, you're a superhero, and I can't be seen around you because you actively just like absorb my power. It just absorbs my essence. Like it's like you're like a vampire. Like I get so exhausted around people who are good at math.
You know, I like
'Cause
skipped
I could-
3 years of math.
Your point. Your point. It's so tiring. You're too good at math. It stresses me out. You
That's
should
why
be
I
good
make
at
sure
math.
not to do math near you.
Yeah, good. Keep it that way. After graduation, I took a job with the Department of Defense, hoping that I might have the resources to help me look for my father. I was immediately assigned to the Special Office of Internal Security. The purpose is to investigate and sometimes deal with terrorist organizations and other serious threats to the state. I could tell my mother wasn't happy about my decision, but she chose to remain silent about it.
Also, Alice in real clothes.
I mean, I didn't want to say anything because, women are allowed to wear whatever they want.
Yeah, but I'll shame anybody who wears a toilet seat on their neck.
That is a choice. That definitely is a choice. I don't know. Maybe she's wearing a full body, flesh-colored spandex suit underneath, and we don't know.
I'd shame that even more.
That's a risky outfit. You're one shift away from a fashion disaster. Eventually, I learned that the terrorist organization that had taken my father was none other than the Myrmidons. Although at the time, that name didn't mean anything to me. They were suspected of human cloning. Specifically, it was thought that they had been using cloning technique to copy the most useful members and expand their ranks. Is that how cloning works?
Sure.
The Myrmidons... The Myrmidons apparently believed that they could use cloning to create a new race of humans. Now, at last, I knew the reason for my father's abduction. The commander of the Myrmidons was a man named Left. Oh, so brother's name is Left? Did we do that already?
No, brother's brother was named Left. Dio is the commander of the Myrmidons. We already found out he's
Dio
the commander.
Is a clone of Left. You're right.
And he is the commander, even.
Yeah.
Dio is.
Yeah.
So.
We know his name and his gender, but not his appearance or his age. The Myrmidons are closely associated with a cult known as Free the Soul. We believe that Free the Soul provides the funding. But trying to pin any kind of misdeeds on the cult leader, a man named Brother, is like trying to nail Jello to a wall. Now I'm gonna go nail Jello to a wall just to prove a point. Brother was supposed to be fairly advanced in years. And rumors... What?
Just a way of calling somebody old, advanced in years.
Advanced in years is my favorite tactical RPG
Just
that's ever coming for the Switch.
How old are you? Advanced.
I'm advanced in years. I can't wait till I'm SP in years.
Okay.
How old are you? I'm 3S in years. Excuse me? Brother was supposed to be fairly advanced in years. The rumor says he's so old he can't even get out of bed. Unfortunately, his mind seems to be as sharp as ever. At that point, I'd hit a wall. I knew the Myrmidons had been behind my father's kidnapping, but that was all I could learn about them. One day, I got a tip that some of them were hiding in a building in the Nevada desert. I headed out immediately. Oh. On the way there, my car had some engine trouble and stalled out. I was trying to decide what to do when an SUV appeared out of nowhere. I give you one guess as to who was behind the steering wheel. Muhammad Ali. Oh, Clover.
Dang it, I thought I'd get one guess.
It was the first time we met. There were 4 of the people in the car with her, and when I asked them what they were doing, it was just about the last answer I'd expected. Did they really just were like, yeah, we were in a killing game. That was a copy of
It
the
says
Killing
what they
Game
said.
10 years ago. They told me that they were locked up inside the very building I found my way to investigate. We were locked up in the very building you came here to investigate. How did you know that? I mean, I don't know, but we know. I've been on my way to investigate, and that they were currently in pursuit of people who had kidnapped them in the first place. My powers shifted very quickly. After a short discussion, I convinced them to allow me to come along. My hope was to find the people that were chasing. I was certain the Myrmidons. In the end, however, we were unable to track them down. In fact, I still don't know where they might have gone. Eventually, I took Clover and her companions to SOIS headquarters.
SOIS.
SWAS. We decided that involving the police would only complicate things. After some questioning, it was determined that the people who had instigated this particular event were not connected to the Myrmidons. We did, however, discover that the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years prior was connected to Free the Soul. There was also a sixth person in the SUV, although they weren't riding in it per se. Who we'll just call H for now, who had been bound and placed in the trunk. Why does she not just say it was...
Maybe
Taro
that's
Honda,
confidential.
who head CEO of Corrado Pharmaceutical.
As opposed to bottom CEO.
Bottom CEO. That's my goal in life. Who had been bound and placed in the trunk. According to the other folk, he had been behind the earlier disappearance of the children 9 years ago. We also learned that his pharmaceutical company, a major player in the world stage, was effectively controlled by Free the Soul. More specifically, I suppose H was a member of Free the Soul and very committed to their cause.
He was in the cult.
Everyone was in the cult. You were in the cult, Shad JB.
I mean, I started it.
Brother! So, why had he kidnapped all those children? Brother. Creep of the crop. So far, my wrestling heads out there. Apparently, it had been part of an experiment designed to test the... Apparently, it had been part of an experiment designed to test the ability of certain people who had access to what's called the morphogenetic field. Can you believe how important morphogenetic fields are to this entire game series, considering how much I trash talked it when we first learned about it?
I mean, that's
Like-
part of the reason me and Ethan were laughing. Being friend. I mean, nobody will know who that is. Me,
You're allowed.
me, and a mutual friend of ours were laughing.
I use his stage name.
No, go on.
Yeah, no, that's very funny. I don't imagine you've ever heard of it before, so I'll try to give you a quick rundown. No, it's okay, Alice. I'm very well versed. Oh God.
It'll be quick.
Simply put, these people can access a sort of field that allows their consciousness to resonate with the consciousness of certain other people. To be honest, it might be simpler to just call it telepathy. Yeah, please just call it telepathy. The SWAS had heard of this particular ability before and had actually used it in a number of investigations, so I wasn't surprised to learn of its existence. I was shocked, however, to learn that these experiments had been carried out by a member of Free the Soul. If that was the case, then Brother must have known about it. The thought of him discovering a way to control and harness that power was terrifying. She's back to fresh out of high school.
It wasn't too long after the incident in Nevada that another tip about the Myrmidons crossed my desk. She just refuses to age. Launch of a large-scale biological terrorist attack.
I think you missed a line.
Well, this time it claimed that the Myrmidons intended to launch a large-scale biological terrorist attack. My bosses decided that we needed more agents to deal with a threat of that magnitude, and Clover was recruited. Because she'd been a test subject in the H's experiment, we knew that she had the ability to access the morphogenetic field, and we wanted to put that ability to use. After several months of training, she was sent on her first mission. She would be tasked with the infiltration and investigation of a Myrmidon cloning lab. I was assigned to be her commanding officer. I hoped that our investigation might also give me a lead to my father's whereabouts. At last, I had a chance to find out what happened to him. I couldn't let that chance pass me by. Perhaps that's what kept me from noticing the truth. The whole operation was a trap.
It's a trap!
It's a trap. The lab was fake. Clover was captured almost immediately. I got there as fast as I could, but when I arrived, the building was only an empty shell. All the conspirators who had pretended to be researchers and the like had already fled. I searched frantically for Clover until at last in a basement room I found her. She had been tied to a chair, but on the floor next to her was another body. It was my father. He looked as if he'd just been dumped there. When I got to him, his body was already cold. He was covered in dark, ugly bruises. It wasn't until later I learned he had died from ruptured organs and internal bleeding. They had beaten him to death. As soon as Clover had been captured, a Myrmidon in a mask had come to visit her. He had said that unless he wanted to end up like my father, she would leave them alone and tell her masters at the SOIS to do the same. In retrospect, they must have known who I was and who my father was. That's why they killed him. Perhaps they thought they were sending a message to me. Or that once he was gone, I'd lose my reason for chasing them. They were very, very wrong. I took Clover with me and left. I tried to console myself with the fact that I had at least been able to save her. Sometime later, I received a call from the coroner. He told me there was something I needed to see. There in the morgue was my father, cold as and pale on a steel table. I could barely stand looking at him. To look at him, but the coroner insisted. On his arms were 2 rows of number comprised of 8s and 9s. It took me a moment to recognize my father's handwriting. He had carved them into his own skin. On his chest was another message, but these were letters this time, not numbers. Not many, just enough to make a short sentence. I love you, Alice.
He carved I love you, Alice into his chest.
In code.
No, the letters, it didn't say that part was encoded.
Oh. I broke down crying right there in the morgue. They were the first tears I'd shed since the operation had started, and there was no stopping them. There would be no forgiveness. Not for the monsters who put my father through this. They'd destroy my family. I will make them pay, even if I have to die to do it.
I am Alice, unknown last name, and you killed my father. Prepare to die.
I am. My name is Alice. Unknown last name. I would love if that's actually her last name. They destroyed my family. I would make them pay when I had to die to do it. That night, I made a promise to myself. I would avenge my father. So they needed to prepare to die. Oh, back to high school. She's just morphogenetic feeling back to that moment. Didn't take long to figure out that the numbers he'd written there were latitude and longitude.
No, she's worn suits numerous times in her life.
Just when she was applying to the position as SWAS. After that, it was exclusively Egyptian-based clothing. Egyptian mummy-based clothing, specifically. I don't think current people from Egypt wear those clothes.
Listen, would you see somebody dressed as an Egyptian pharaoh and think, oh, that person's a U.S. spy?
You got me there.
It's a
You
good
really
cover.
Get me there.
It is so absurd. It's a good cover. They'll be thinking so many things that
It's like I really can't argue with that logic. They pointed to a chemical factory that had been disguised as an abandoned building. Further investigation revealed that it was the mother lode we've been looking for, the headquarters of the Myrmidons. I think my father must have known how things would turn out. Knowing he was going to die, he'd written directions to our enemy fortress in his own body. He sacrificed too much for me to waste this opportunity with recklessness. This time, our operation would succeed. This time, I wouldn't let my excitement put Clover or any other agents in danger. This time, I would put myself in danger. So we took our time, we gathered information, we did our research, and we planned. Finally, we were ready. December 25th, 2028 was going to be the day we finally set foot inside the Myrmidon stronghold. But then on the 22nd, only 3 days before the operation was scheduled to begin, a man in a gas mask appeared.